Hey again, y'all. So anyway, I just wanted to do a quickie review. I spoke in another video. I bought this. It's basically a first generation hummingbird knockoff. I see all these things. For one, I kind of stumbled on a video on here that was talking about like Amazon tattoo machines and buying these knockoff versions, and there was so much talk about those dragonflies, which there's a lot of hype about. I couldn't help but buy one. And since then, whenever I get a few dollars to blow, I'll go out and buy one just because I do like to learn about, the mechanics of all these things, like this, all these crazy springs and whatever all these mechanisms are. I just like to learn about them. So I figure if worst comes to worst, I'll have something just, if they blow up or they don't run at all, I'll have a something to, put on the wall or whatever, use as a keychain. So anyway, I bought this first generation it's basically a first generation hummingbird knockoff. And again, preventive maintenance, like the motor part on the bottom was basically spinning. I can imagine people, and I can see it probably happens all the time. People get these machines, they plug them right in without doing anything to them. They run them on too high a voltage. And if you run any rotary pretty much over 7 volts consistently, you're gonna blow it up. I always hear people talking about, they strip the tube vices or whatever. The tube vice strips out easy. They're plastic. Don't crank on them. I mean, a little common sense. But anyway, so I did my usual preventive maintenance. Got all the bearings and whatnot, a little 3-in-1 oil. And I got it running pretty nice. Another thing I noticed on these on all the knockoff versions, those little knobs on the back, if it were an original version, you could control, and I'm going to say it the right way, you can control the stroke length, which is how far the needle will travel back and forth in between hitting your skin. Or, in rotary terminology, I'll say the hit, although there's really not anything on this that's actually controlling how hard that's hitting your skin. So again, when you adjust, and again, on all these knockoffs, what I do find is these little knobs on the front, they don't actually do anything. So fortunately, most of them are pretty much set at like 3.5 millimeters. By looking at this, I would say it's probably a little over. But I could twist that knob and turn it one way or another, and it's not doing anything as far as how far that needle's traveling back and forth. But yeah, I got it running pretty nice. So I so far really haven't found that with a little preventive maintenance in the beginning, I really haven't had any problems with any of these little cheapies. They're not, unless you spend a lot of money, you're not gonna get a super awesome tattoo machine. And even when you do spend money, I had a $650 Cheyenne Hawk that I have it in a box still because it almost breaks my heart to just throw it in the garbage. It was junk. It is junk. I will never have a good thing to say about Cheyenne or their products. I think they're garbage, overpriced garbage. It's like you're just paying for the name. Yeah, I definitely would never ever spend $650 on another tattoo pen. I probably won't ever buy another tattoo pen again. And if anything happens to my little pumpkin that I did a video on, I probably will never get a pen again. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I got this thing running pretty good. So again, little 3-in-1 oil, on the bearing, even though those needle tensioners are plastic, I do put a little oil on the spring and the part that screws in. A little 3-in-1 oil will go a long way. So that's actually not bad. That's pretty nice. Again, this little knob up here, if it were a genuine hummingbird, you could control or spin that one way or another, and it would control how far that needle travels back and forth, or like in rotary terminology, the hit, which is basically the stroke length. And I did, a video on a direct drive. The only soft hitting tattoo machines out there are coil machines because those springs take the hit off the skin. But as far as the terminology, the hit goes when you're talking about rotaries, all those knobs do is control how far that needle travels back and forth. So anyway, thanks to some of my followers, and I don't know, a little preventive maintenance, guys, goes a long way. See ya.